Hi, Lauren. I've been following your page on Instagram for a while to gain some insight. I was separated from my husband, who I've been with for 18 years, married for 8 out of the 17. I met this guy from my job, and we instantly grew a connection during my separation. He knew my whole backstory of the separation and everything, and knew I started to gain feelings for him. Once we had our moment, and it was great, until he drove to my work that night to express to me that he was married. I expressed how I never wanted to be that girl who ruined my marriage. We stopped talking for a few months until we connected again. That one time turned into many, many times, and it got to the point where I fell in love with him. The crappy part is I got close to his family, including his wife. I no longer work there anymore and tried to keep my distance because I felt like the situation just ruined me. There's been many times where I wanted to express to his wife the truth because he's a smooth talker and gets away with it. I just can't continue feeling the way I'm feeling anymore, as much as it hurts me. But I need to move on from what is demolishing my feelings and her. If there's any guidance at all, I would really appreciate it. Thank you, Melinda. So, Melinda's letter involves a few different things. She was separated and she connected with someone and developed a relationship with someone during her separation where they began a relationship, but then afterwards she found out he was married. They parted ways and then they reconnected, and it sounds like then they went into a full-blown affair. So what I'm guessing is that you and your husband reconciled, but you had already started an affair and that affair continued. So now the affair is over and you are with your husband, but you're feeling ashamed and you're also feeling perhaps a little used, and you're angry about how the relationship went down. That's what I'm picking up from this letter. Because the truth is that you both were married, and even though you were separated, it sounds like you both were having an affair. You were both in an affair. And it sounds to me, Melinda, like you're mixing up your own shame with responsibility for what's going on in his life. So what I would encourage you to do is make sure you're asking yourself the question, am I doing work that's mine to do, or am I getting out of my lane and into somebody else's lane? And if so, also, why am I doing that? Is it because I'm angry? Is it because I'm mad that he's getting away with something that his wife doesn't know about? Do I feel partially responsible, and so I'm trying to unburden myself? And also, what would the outcome of that be? So it sounds to me, Melinda, like you believe, or you're telling yourself the story that you would feel better if you unburdened yourself of the truth on behalf of yourself getting that relief and on behalf of telling his wife the truth. If that's true, I would take it 10 steps further from there. So ask yourself the question, and then what? And then what? And then answer what comes there. And then what would happen? And then what would happen? Sometimes the outcome that we imagine in our heads, when we take it like 5, 10 steps further and ask, and then what? We realize that we're not really going to get the outcome that we imagine we're going to get from the situation. We think we're going to feel better. We think everyone's going to somehow be relieved or move forward in a way that we're not able to right now. And oftentimes it just creates more of a complication and a mess than there already is. Now, I don't know if that's true for you, but that's why I want you to do that and then what exercise. Because I can tell you're angry. I can tell you feel misused in some way. You say he's a smooth talker, but you were also in the relationship as well. So do you feel duped? Do you feel lied to? What's going on with you where you're mixing up your feelings about what happened with what is needed from him on his end? Because if you just stay in your lane, that's going to let you ask yourself, like, what's the healing journey I need to go on here within myself? Because I'm confusing my own healing journey with what needs to happen in some other people's lives and with some other people. Start there, because once we do the work on ourselves, inside of ourselves, oftentimes it ends up answering that question about what we urgently feel like needs to happen outside of ourselves with other people. It's always an inside job, but we can't know what that inside job is if we keep on wishing that someone else would have a different outcome, or get their justice served, or have the truth told to them. All that external projection is usually a reflection of some inner work that we need to do to understand what we're really feeling in the dynamic that we're in. So get underneath that sense of injustice for yourself and ask yourself what it's really about. Ask yourself why you think you really need to get out of your lane in order to feel unburdened or better. And ask yourself where you can begin within yourself to repair around this for yourself. This letter leaves some things unsure. I don't know what the state is of your marriage right now. You say you were separated from your husband. It sounds like you reconciled. So maybe it sounds like you're having some trouble forgiving yourself, and you kind of feel like you got roped in by this guy, and it sounds like maybe you're hurt, and maybe you want him to pay a little bit. I'm not sure, but sometimes it's the high road that we need to take to let somebody go on their path and let us go on ours. So I hope this helps, Melinda, and I hope it gave you some food for thought.